What's going on, guys? It's Lewis here with Crypto Elite, and welcome to another Trading Tuesday market update video. Things are really, who knows what's going on right now? Nobody really knows. If anyone tells you if they know what the heck is going on right now, they don't know, because things could be going up or things could be going down, and I know you hate to hear it, but a few months ago, things were definitely going down, and before that, things were definitely going up. So now we're in this ranging zone, and it's like, what's going to happen? Well, we could use fundamental analysis plus technical analysis to understand what direction the market will go in and what probability is more likely to happen, or what direction is more likely to happen based off of probabilities, based off of the fundamentals and the technicals. And that's what we're going to do right now. So we're going to start, and I just want to get right into this so I can chart as many coins as I can. So let's do it. Okay, so first things first, Bitcoin Bull Run Index. This is at 36, and just like all of these, I'm going to be running through these real quick so I can get to the charts, because I've been doing them every single week, and I know when things are getting a little juicy, and I know when things are, just in the middle. And right now, 36, it's in the middle. It's a little bit lower than the middle. Obviously, the middle is 50, but if we scroll down here, you can see it's down here. If it comes down to this area, that's a definite buy for me. However, it's still up in the mid zone, so, can't really say much. Also, you can see that this is light green, and if it's in the dark green, that's where I really want to buy. But nothing I can really do about that. Then we got the Pi cycle top indicator. Obviously, we're not at a top. We're near the bottom. So this will come in handy once the market shoots up again. And then maybe if we get the Pi cycle top indicator, then I will sell. So we have the MVRVZ score. It's coming down. It's pretty low. I do like how low it is, but I would just love to see one crash down to the green. I don't care if it crashes lower. I just want to get it into the green so that I could really, be comfortable in my large purchases. Same thing with the R hodl ratio. R hodl ratio, I just really want it in this green zone. We've been, standing around this zone for quite a while. However, it's in the middle. So I don't really like to do things when it's in the middle. I like to do things when they're at the extremes, because that's when you can make the most gains. So that's the R hodl ratio. Then we got the Bitcoin rainbow chart coming after that. And of course, right now we're in the still cheap. So yeah, it is cheap. It's quote unquote cheap right now. However, I would love to see it in the buy zone. I would love to see it in the accumulate zone. These would be great for me. And honestly, I don't see it really coming to the basically a fire sale zone again, unless there's like World War III or something crazy happens. So I'm not really counting on it to come down there, but I really want it to come down just a little bit further. We'll see what it looks like in the charts to see if that's likely or not. And we'll do that in a second. But yeah, it's in the still cheap zone for the Bitcoin rainbow chart. Then we got the fear and greed index. Right now it's at 30. So nothing I really do with this, because I like it when it's at 15 or below. And it's been, it's been rising a little bit actually, because it was at 25, 23, and now it's at 31, 30, a little bit up from where it was last week. So people are getting more confident in the market, and as prices rise, people will get more greedy and more confident in the market as always. Then of course we have their Twitter page, which just goes back and shows you the last few days. So it's been about 30, 31, and before that it was 21, is in the 20s. So it's been rising as the price has sort of been rising. And then finally, the last thing I look at are the basically the funding rates, and they're all positive right now. Or they're all negative right now, which is good. Because you get paid for longing, although not all of them. Now that I'm looking at this, and XRP is positive and EOS is positive. So some of these are actually starting to get positive, which means that you're going to be paying to long, which would be dumb right now, in my opinion, to get. You're not going to be paid to long. You're going to be paid to shorts. And if you long, you're going to be paying. So I'm not really liking that too much, except for, of course, on ApeCoin, because that is something that is probably should be shorting. I'll go into ApeCoin in just a minute. But yeah, that was a quick rundown. I'm going through all these real quickly so that I could get straight into the charts, because that is what we're all here for. So I'm going to start out on the total market caps, go to the dominance levels, and then I'm going to go through Bitcoin, Ethereum, and as many of these as I can. So let's do it. And then the other thing that I want to say is that I'm going to be looking at big market structures right now. If you take a look at my TikTok or my Instagram, and I'll post this up on Twitter as well, you will see the market structure break videos, which talk about whether or not we go from a bearish to a bullish market structure. And we might be doing that. We might not be doing that. I'm going to have to look to see. And if we are doing that, then things might be looking a little bit more bullish than bearish. And if that's the case, maybe longs are in order. Who knows? Maybe we'll get that melt up that people have been talking about for weeks now, while I still would preference to look for shorts rather than look for longs. We could use everything that we have in our disposal to really check the markets and see what is best. So let me put the trading view on and on my screen in terms of, so that you could see the entire market, and then I'll be right back. All right, so here we are in TradingView on the total market cap, and you could see that we got the very first weekly close above this trend line, where we continually had lower highs, lower high, lower high, and now we finally got a close. We have not made a higher high, so we don't have a confirmation that it is bull mode is back on, but we did get a close above the previous or the big trend line on the weekly, which is pretty bullish. And we had this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks, so 2 months of solid support right here around $1.648 trillion, and then we had the move up. So are we going to keep on moving up? Or are we going to keep on moving down? That's what we should figure out right now. And also, if you are going to buy, where would be the best places to buy? Well, let me do this real quick. Since we are in we basically had this long downtrend, and then this right here was the low. This was the low. And then we reached a high, we reached a low, a higher low. So we don't yet have a legit market structure break. To have a legit market structure break, we would have to see a close above this lower high. If we get a close up above $1.92 trillion, then we will have the first higher high since this downtrend. And let's see if that rings true on the daily as well. Yes, it does ring true on the daily as well. You could see from November 10th, this was the high. This was the Pico top. And then we had a lower high, 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 and actually, if you I don't really count this as a high because this was just 1 day up, 1 day down. But if you count, okay, I guess if you count this right here as a high, then technically we did get the close above it right here, and then normally if it's very bullish, we would get the bounce off of the SR flip, which is right here, and we are technically getting a bounce off here. So hey, this is bullish on the daily right here if we are looking at market structure breaks, because is this really the first higher high? Well, certainly one high, if you count this, then yeah, this is the first higher high. And so so this is confirmation on the daily. And so you would either want to do it from basically right here, or you would long from pretty much this zone right here. So this is actually a new zone that I would look for longs at if it comes down to 1.745 trillion dollars. This right here is a possibility that that's gonna shoot up, but I'm just really weary. I don't want to do it right here because it's just too early for me. Plus, the stochastic RSI and the RSI are pretty overbought, and the MACD is coming down. So we're getting some bearish-ish signals, or like signals that the price will come down on the MACD, on the RSI, on the stochastic RSI. And if we look right here, this was the high. And then this is the next high technically, and it's lower than here. So because this is lower, there's no discrepancies between the price and the MACD. So there's no divergences there. And looking at this, yeah, the RSI is pretty dang high on the daily. And of course, last time it was this high on the daily was back here after this major run up. And then we did get, another 10% move. So if I had to say something, if I had to say like we're going to move up again, I would just basically, I don't know. I probably wouldn't do it right here. I would wait for this. I would wait for a retest here. Then I would get in, and then I would probably get out right here at these highs. And why would I do that? Well, for a lot of reasons. If you go back here and you take the Fibonacci from the top to basically the bottom, the 38.2 is right around the $2.086 trillion. So I would probably want to get out a little bit before that. Plus, there is the big resistance, big resistance, big resistance. So big support, which is turned into resistance, and same thing right here. So this entire area right here is like really big resistance to me. So this is where I would want to get out. Obviously, I do own Bitcoin right now. I'm in Bitcoin, but like, I'll probably want to sell, and I'm in some other coins, but I'll probably want to sell if the market cap comes up here. Okay, guys, so now we're looking at the total market cap excluding Bitcoin. So these are the altcoin market caps or the altcoin market cap. And you can see that we've had lower highs consistently, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. And, if we're on the weekly charts, we did finally get a high close that closed above the wicks at least, so it's possible. But once again, to confirm that the bull market is back on, we would have to get a close above what is this? The close was 1.11. Yeah, 1.11 trillion. That's what we would have to close above on the weekly to confirm that we're back in bull market and that there was a market structure break on the crypto total market cap excluding Bitcoin. However, if we go down into the daily, maybe there's a different picture. So we got the lower high, lower high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. This is a higher low. However, we did not make a higher high, so there was no confirmation there. Then we got a lower low, a lower high, a lower low, a lower high, and then we got a higher low right here. And then I guess if you count this as the lower high, then yeah, we broke above it, and that is bullish, right? So this is the change in the market sentiment, and then you would, where is the thing right here? You would long right here, like this would be the long area, or you would long right here at the 61.8. So this would be the long area. So this is where I would long if the price comes back down here. Right. However, this is iffy if this is really like the market structure break right here. if like this right here is definitely the lower high, like lower high, lower high, lower high. So if we close above here, if we get a close above here, that would be much more bullish for me. So I would love to see that. However, I don't want to be buying like breakouts necessarily. So I would wait for it to close up here, and then I would buy a pullback. And that's the same thing for the other one, for the total market cap. Otherwise, I will buy right here, hoping that this is where we will get the bounce after we got, you know, these 2 months of support down here, and hope that we get the bounce right here. This would be the long. This would basically be the long play. So basically, close above here, and that's a bullish market structure break. If you count this one. If you're counting this, then we would basically long from right here if you're bullish. Okay, so now let's look at the altcoin dominance levels. And this is usually a big, what do you call it, sentiment of where the market is. And I like how it wicked down into this area, into my buy zone, and then, you know, it has been going up from there. And I mean, yeah, I could see it going back up here, but I would much rather, when we're in a bear market, so basically we've been in a bear market, right, since November. So what I like to see in bear markets is the price action to come down to the support where I believe the support should be, and either hit the support or go underneath of the support and then do a fake out, like a fake breakdown, and then go back above the support. I don't like seeing this in a bear market where the price action comes to above where I had my support level drawn and then starts to move up, because now it's like it didn't even hit the support. But we're in a bear market. We're not in the bull market. So it doesn't make sense that it would be so bullish, so that there's so much money flowing into it that it's going to simply just go from above the support and then jump back up. Unless the support, unless you're talking about support very, 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 very low down, like for instance, like Bitcoin 3,000 or whatever. And like, yeah, okay, I understand it goes at 3,200 or 3,400 because 3,000 is so low. That's the same thing for like if Bitcoin say the support's at 20,000. Like I understand why it would be front run at 26. It makes sense to me. But we're still not really at the place where I think that we should be getting front ran. So I'm being super, super, super cautious, and I'm putting, you know, because things could go either way, I'm putting 1% or less risk on both my long positions and my short positions. If prices come back up to like the major resistance levels, then I'm going to put it on 2 or 3% on my shorts. And if they come down to the major support levels, then I'll put in 2 or 3% on my longs. But right now, it's just way too iffy. And as a trader, your goal is to preserve your capital as much as possible so that you could go as hard as possible when you have more confidence in the market and in your trades. So as of right now, that's my game plan. And even though we might shoot back up and have this quote unquote parabolic run, that's great. I'll catch part of the move. I'm not trying to go in right now. And once we get to the actual markets, I think that will explain it a little bit better, because this is the dominance levels. I just showed you the total market caps, and like we have not really gotten to the point where I feel like, okay, I'm comfortable like longing. And just to show you like what that looks like, it's like come back here, right? So we had back in last summer, the major sell-off, right? So we had a major sell-off, and then we had a little bit of a bounce, hardly anything, right? And then like a major sell-off, and then major sell-off. So once it hit down in this level, a lot of the prices for a lot of the cryptos were like super, super, super low, like 29,000 Bitcoin. That was an easy buy for me. But even if I didn't buy it at 29K, then once this hit here, once it punctured this area, right? This is the weekly support or weekly resistance. What I do is I go down to the daily, and I would see, okay, This was major, major, major. Boom, right here, right here. So August, I would say, okay, it came above the last major high, last major highs, and I would want to get in at the retest, and it came back down, boom, got in right there. And so maybe if I didn't actually get in, then I would have missed this first run up, but I would have gotten right here with high probability to right around here, and then, sold off, and then I probably would have bought back down here. However, and I guess you could also say the same thing for this. So once we got this close right here, then I would want to buy back in right here, because this was the high, and then the lower high, and then the lower high, and then we had the market structure break, and I want to get in on the retest. Boom, got on the retest, and then shoot up to at least right here, but probably, up here. I did have this panned out for a while now. So anyway, that's that. But these are on the total market cap. So I'm going to show you on the actual Bitcoin charts. So let's go into the Bitcoin charts themselves. Let's start off on the weekly. And let me go over here. What is happening? I'm just going to reset this chart, and then come down like this and do this. Boom, boom, boom. So let's look at Bitcoin on the weekly and see what the deal is, and see if there's any type of market structure break. So I actually plotted this out a little bit better on, I like this chart. This chart is cleaner. So I'm just going to go with this. So with this chart, what I did was I put out the major supports and major resistances, the obvious ones, right? It's very clear that 43,000 is a huge resistance, because look at this. Boom, 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 boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We had the wicks on the weekly, right? But we also had down here, over here, just like major support resistance level right here, right? Even back here was very close at 42,600. So I plotted this out. This is where I'm going to sell some, at 43,160. And then if it comes down to this level, then this is where I'm going to buy. Why? Because this is the major support. And honestly, even though we've had those 2 months of major support right around the $36,000 level, anywhere between 36,000 and 37,000, if it comes back down, I'm expecting it to break. And so let's look on the weekly to see if there's any market structure breaks right now, MSB. So we have the high right here, the Pico top. And then we got a low, basically. We'll call this the low, or this. We'll call this the low. High, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, higher low. So this is where you're like, okay, well, we got a higher low right here. So maybe something is up. And maybe that's probably why we got this crazy run up. And me, a couple of weeks ago, when we did get this crazy run up, this is on the weekly, but if we go down to the daily, if you look right on the daily right here, oh, see, that was the issue. I should have counted the wicks. See, on the daily, I counted the bars, but I didn't count the wicks. But if I counted the wicks, then this would not have actually been a market structure break, because you can see the wick right here was higher. This would have been the market structure break. So we got a higher low, a lower high, a lower high, a lower high, and then finally it came down, put the bottom in, came back up. Boom, we had the market structure break right here when it closed above this previous lower high. We made a higher high. So what you would do is you would get in on the retest, either like literally right here, or you would take the fib from like the bottom to the top and try to get in at the 61.8, like right here, which would have been fine if you're counting the bodies. Either that or the 78.6, but this one did end up retracing all the way. So this was like basically a fake market structure break, or it was a market structure break. And like technically we did make another higher low. So if we made a higher low, this is bullish. This right here is bullish. So I'll explain to you what this means. This is right here. We had a lower high from previous. Then we made another lower high. Then we made another lower high. Also, we made lows, lower lows, and then lower lows. Then we came up here and we got a higher low right here. That's a higher low. It's higher than this. So that's like, oh, maybe things are turning bullish. However, once we need a confirmation of a higher high in order to really confirm that we're bullish, we need to be higher than this right here, this area. And I'll do this. We need to be higher. We need to close higher than right here. And we did. We closed. We basically, well, we didn't close, but we did reach higher than this area. So it's like, okay, boom, market structure break, bullish. Now, the only way to invalidate that we are bullish is if we close below, if we make a lower low. So we came down here, and I mean, you could count this as a low, but I'm counting this as the low, and we made this low. This low, even if we count this, is not as low as here. So this is technically a higher low. This is technically higher than here. So because this is higher than here, and I'm not counting this giant wick, I'm not counting that because this wick is too much. I'll count these wicks. They're very, very close to the candle bars, but this wick is too much. So I'm just going to count these. And these are higher low. So we need a low, a higher low, a higher low, a higher low if you count this as the low, and then another higher low. And this one, you know, from this wick is a higher low. And so technically we're bullish. We're still bullish from this market structure break because we've been making higher lows, even though we have not been making higher highs. So that's what makes it sort of confusing. We need that, like, obviously, if it was truly, truly bullish, we would just get the retest and make a higher high, make higher highs consistently. But if we break down below this low right here, this is the last low, and I'll write this out. And this is what I just wrote. I wrote, if we break above here, which is the higher low, so we made low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. If we break down below here, then we're probably going to see a big dump to 30.5. So I would definitely want to long. I wouldn't want to long here. I would want to long a little bit above here because we should get another higher low. If we get another higher low, then technically the market structure is bullish and it hasn't broken yet. But if we come down here, like, that's going to be pretty damn bearish, in my opinion. So I would basically sell on a retest. If we closed, let's say we closed here, I would sell on a retest here, or I would sell somewhere up here to try to buy it back down here. However, we're still sort of bullish right now. And so considering that we're still sort of bullish, I do have some Bitcoin. Like I said, I did draw this out previously, but this level right here at 44,500 is actually more likely to get hit, in my opinion, than not get hit. So what I would do now, because now that I'm looking at this again and we've consolidated above here, we made this higher high above this high, I'm actually going to take this and I'm going to bring this up here, and then I'm going to bring this up here, and this is where I'm going to sell. I'm going to sell some at $44,544. This is where I'm going to sell my Bitcoin if we do reach this area, because I believe we have a high probability chance of its. We definitely have a high probability chance of Bitcoin falling from this area. And you know what? If we bust above here, then that would be super bullish. And then if we close, then I would try to get back in, you know, at this level, or maybe at the 61.8 of the move up. So this is the new game plan. Yes, sell the Bitcoin that I have right here. And if we close down here, then I'll sell on a bounce up, and I'll aim for down here. So drawing that all out, these are the three scenarios that I see happening. Okay, so that was Bitcoin. So now let's take a look at Ethereum. So basically on the weekly chart, we have the Pico top up here, and then we got the low, the lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. And then finally, if you take this wick or if you take this body, we made a higher low. So this right here would, either here or here, would be the first indication that maybe this bear market is slowing down. However, we would have to have a close above $3,029 in order to or $3,057 in order to make this a real higher high and a confirmation for the market structure break. And so that's on the weekly, but maybe if we go down on the daily, we could see something a little bit better. And before we do, though, I just want to point out, for the last 2 months, still, just like Bitcoin, we had this support. And for Bitcoin, it was 36,000 to 37,000. For Ethereum, it's around 2,500, basically. Let's just say 2,500. So 2,500 is a really big support, but I feel like it will break. I feel like this is basically like the $6,000 Bitcoin area, and from 2018 and 2019. And I also feel like the same thing for 34,000, the Bitcoin area right here, like this whole $37,000 area. I think that this is very similar to the $6,000 mark for Bitcoin, and I really want to see it reach the 200 weekly moving average for Bitcoin. So going back to here, yeah, this is Ethereum on the weekly, and I would love to get in at around $2,000. I think 2,000 is a great place to get in, and honestly, I could, like I've mentioned before, I could see it coming all the way down to $1,400, but I would definitely want to get in at just above 2,000 because I like that price, and I'm comfortable taking a big hit because Ethereum is obviously great, and if it ever comes down here, like I say on this chart, under $1,000 Ethereum, I'm selling everything I have, and I'm going all into ETH. So that's on the weekly. But what about on the daily? Maybe we'll see a different picture on the daily. On the daily, we had that Pico top, and then a low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, higher low right here from obviously down here. But obviously that was not sustained because we never got a higher high, so we never got a confirmation of the reversal pattern. And then we got another lower, and then we got a lower low from here, and then another lower low from here, and then I guess you could call this a higher low from right here. So we're in this Ethereum. So Ethereum has not actually had any confirmation of a market structure break is so far. Bitcoin did. If we go back to Bitcoin, what was it? This one, or was it this one? It was this one. So Bitcoin, possibly this was the market structure break from right here, but or right here was the market structure break from back here. Right here was the market. So this from this point on, it's been bullish, and yeah, we've had it did go down, but we've been making higher lows every single time consecutively, higher lows. So that's good for Bitcoin. For Ethereum, though, if we go back to where Ethereum was, this high was not higher than here. So this was not a break in the market structure. It's continuing its downtrend. If this is the low, if this pops up and closes above here on the daily, then on the daily, if it closes above 3,000, then or 2,985, then if it closes up here, then that'll be a market structure break to the upside, and that's when I would take the Fibonacci from here to wherever it ends up closing, and I would try to buy it like right in this area, but that's not there until it happens. It's not there until it happens. So you really got to wait. And because we haven't had that, what I do want to do is I do want to sell it right here at this resistance, because this is major resistance. You can see all the major supports back here, support back here. And yeah, we did bust through it once, twice, and then right here. So maybe we'll come back up, but this is the daily 200-day moving average. It's exponential moving average. It's pretty big resistance in my opinion. So this is where I would look to sell. And then if it does pop up, and let's say it closes, 3,200 or something like that, I would just get in on a retest. I would try to get in on a retest and be totally cool with that, because I don't think it would just like pump up 30% in one day, So this is what I would try to do. Plus, look at this. The stochastic RSI and the regular RSI is totally overbought. The MACD is totally overbought, and it's on its way down. So things are not looking good. So maybe it'll have like one more pump up, but then like, it will have a divergence in the RSIs, and it just wouldn't be good in my opinion. So I would have to wait. So my game plan for Ethereum is pretty much sell it at the 3,000 mark. 3,000 is really big, and I'm not really looking to rebuy it unless it pumps up here. And then if it comes back down, then I'll rebuy it on a retest. And other than that, I'm not really looking to buy it at 2,500. I'm sure you can buy it at 2,500. Maybe you could buy it here for a couple percentage gain, maybe 5-6% gain, and that's probably gonna happen, to be honest. But I would much rather just like wait. It's really choppy. I don't want to get chopped up. I've been getting chopped up lately, so I'm just like waiting. This was super good. This was really easy to make a ton of money right up in here, and it was even right here was a really good way to make a lot of money from here down to right here. But now I'm a little like, I don't know, so I'm gonna wait, and I'm gonna buy it back down here if that's possible. And 2030 is actually a little bit high, but it is the 61.8 of the entire move up. So that's why I'm gonna buy it here instead of like, say 1,700 or 1,800, back down here where these ones came. I'm gonna buy it here because it's the 61.8. So that's the game plan for Ethereum, is sell it if it comes up here. If it pops up higher, then I'll buy it back again where I sold it. Otherwise, I'm just gonna hold off and try to buy it down here, and just when I start buying down here, I don't think I'm gonna be selling it. I'm just gonna be buying it. Like I'm just gonna be buying it and just holding on to it because in my opinion, it'll pop back up. It'll be what 60% off the top by the time it hits down there, 60 to 65%. So that's enough of a percent off the top for me to justify buying it. So yeah, that's my game plan. Okay, so now we're going to go from Ethereum against USD to Ethereum against Bitcoin, and there's pretty obvious levels. What I was doing with Ethereum against Bitcoin for a while was I was basically taking this area right here, and if I take this tool, I can plot it out something like this. So we got the tap, then 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 we got the tap. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, really, if you count this, 7, if you count that, 8, 9, 10, whatever. And then we fell below it. And so I bought it right here. We fell below it. I got out just where I bought it because I was like, okay, this is not good. We fell below it. And of course, it ended up being a fake out. Super, super annoying. Should have just stuck with this area, this support area that was horizontal. I know this is red, but just pretend this is green, or at least I'll just do that. Should have stuck with this horizontal support. Horizontal is much more powerful than diagonal. Even though we did get so many taps of this diagonal, I really thought that alts were done for when we broke below here, got the retest, and then started falling down. I was like, okay, alts are done. So I got out of my ETH, or I exchanged my ETH for Bitcoin. Luckily, I exchanged it for Bitcoin instead of just going flat, and because Bitcoin went up also. But still, I was not expecting this, and so we are Ethereum against Bitcoin. Ethereum is still outperforming Bitcoin. Sort of crazy because I really would have expected it to fall after this, but this was a very, I guess, calculated fake out or something, or a fake breakdown, because now we have that, and we have this right here. So we had the taps on the top, but I did hear that once it reaches past a certain point, it doesn't really count anymore. So when I'm talking about triangles, so what I'm doing instead is I'm really just trying to focus on the horizontals because this diagonal wasn't as powerful as what it should have been. So with saying that, I could actually bring this back here. Look at that. And even right there, there's another one, and there's another one. So there's been a lot of room of places for this support. So basically, if it comes back down here, I'm buying. It is very, very close to the resistance. This entire red zone. I'm not a fan of this right here. So I would not be buying ETH. I would not be buying alts. I really wouldn't be buying anything. In fact, I would expect altcoins to sort of fall down if I'm using the ETH BTC chart as any type of correlation to what altcoins are doing. So yeah, it makes me more uncomfortable to actually buy alts. Okay, so the next thing that I want to look at is the DeFi Index Perpetual Futures index, basically. And this is something that's available on FTX, and it takes in a lot of different DeFi protocols and then basically puts it all together. And if you go to ftx.com, or if you just Google FTX DeFi perp, you'll see that the DeFi perp tracks the price of a basket of decentralized finance coins using a weighted average of the prices of KNC, MKR, ZRX, REN, REP, SNX, Comp, Tomo, Rune, CRV, Dot, Link, MTA, Sol, Cream, Band, SRM, Sushi, SWRV, AVAX, YFI, Uni, WNXM, Aave, and Balancer. So you get exposure to 25 different coins with one futures contract. So this does give a very good glimpse into the general market structure of all of these different cryptocurrencies. So if I see this come down, like I mentioned, to this ideal buy zone down here, even the 78.6, then I would really want to take a look at all of these coins. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually look at this. I'm gonna highlight this. I'm gonna copy this, and I'm gonna paste it into here just so that I know exactly what coins to look at. And so if this ideal buy zone is hit, 78.6, where it crashed to before, or especially if the 88% is hit, then I'm going to be looking at all of these different coins, and I'm going to be looking at to see which is the best one that has the most potential. That's what I will do. So this is the weekly. Maybe if we go down to the daily chart, we could see something else. And pretty much you see since May of 2021, the DeFi space, the DeFi sector, all the DeFi coins have been in a downtrend. Yes, we did have this very, very good uptrend where you could have made a lot of money right here, but really since May, this goes along with all of the altcoins. It's been in a very, very big downtrend. So until it reaches a point where I think would be a really, really good buy, I'm not really interested. Like, yes, right here was actually an insanely good buy at 5268. But we haven't, you know what, maybe this was the bottom because we did get the bottom and then the flush out and then the higher low, right? So this could totally have been the bottom. Personally, I'm just waiting. I don't know. I really want it to come down just a little bit more. Plus, we're overbought on the daily. And is the MACD? Yeah, the MACD is turning down. So I'm just still not comfortable going into cryptos, right? I'm just still not totally there. If we do look at the daily, we did get that market structure break on this right here because we got the high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, and we did finally make a higher low right here. So if I do want to get in, maybe what I'll do is I'll do this and I'll put a trade on like, let's see, boom, boom, boom. And I'll put a trade on like this. And this will be the trade setup just in case we do get this flip, because we did also get the flip of the EMAs, and the last time that happened, yeah, it was up here. So it's possible, that also happened right here, and then obviously we came down and then shot back up. So that's pretty good because the last time that happened. So what I'll do is I'll put on a trade, like I'll put this trade on, and I will say, this is what I want to do. I'll take it here, and I'll just make sure that from here to here is good. Yeah, so it'll be underneath the 78.6 from here, and it'll be underneath the 65 from here. So this will be a good trade. Just in case this MSB is like true, then I will get in here, because it should make a higher high and a higher low. And let me do this. Let me get this. Boom. This is it. And it never came down. And this is actually really good. So I'm going to raise this up and make this 35.53. There you go. And yes, this will be the trade setup that I'll have for this. And I just need to make sure that this is still underneath here, 60.10. So I'll put 69, and that'll be that. Yeah, that's not bad. It's really not bad. 69. Yeah. Boom. So now I have a trade set up. I do have a trade set up for this just in case this right here was the bottom. I'm not really expecting this, so I'm not going to put a lot of risk on this. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm only going to be putting 1% risk on all my trades, or less than 1% risk. But if it comes down to my ideal buy zone, I'll definitely be buying. Okay, so that is it for the DeFi perp. And next up, we got quant. Of course, we got to go over quant. So what I'm doing here is I'm sticking with my game plan for quant. Very simple. We got the low right here. This was the Pico low, or this was the low. And we're right in no man's land. You do not want to be trading right here. What you want to be doing here is maybe run a bot to like buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. But you don't want to be trading. You want to just trade the extremities. So right here's the first, the extremity, and right here's the second. So if it comes up here, I'm going to be selling all of my quant. I think it'll pop back up here. I do think that what I think will happen, I think we'll get a really, really big spike up, maybe all the way up to like 187 or something crazy like that, and a spike all the way back down, and just a wick, just one wick, you know? So I will sell it all the way here, and then I will try to rebuy down at $86, and that's my goal for quant. Super simple. I'm trying to keep this easy. I'm half in right now. I'm half out, so it's perfect. Next up, I'm gonna do Cardano. So for Cardano, we have that infamous $1. Basically, the $1 support was just absolutely crazy. So many wicks down to $1 over here, and then so much support at $1 right here. And then we fell below it. We retested it, had a perfect shorting opportunity. Boom, actually twice. And that was really good. So I'm just going to stick with it. And if it comes up here, if it comes back up to 99 cents, I am selling it. And if it pops all the way up to, $1.12, then I'm going to be shorting it. I mean, I'm going to be having to get stopped out, but yeah, I still think Cardano is going down to maybe even the 40s. So it did basically hit just about the 78.6, and this is, yeah, I still see Cardano just tanking. Obviously, if the whole market shoots up, it'll shoot up with it as well. But yeah, I will definitely be shorting it from 99 cents again if the price does jump up there. And I think the last thing that I'm going to do is just check the Cardano against Bitcoin chart. You could see that it actually did bounce off of the 200 weekly exponential moving average, which is great. And if it does come up here on the ADA against Bitcoin chart, this is definitely the biggest resistance area, right around 2600 to 2623 sats. So this is a great shorting opportunity. On the Bitcoin chart, it is nice to look at the Bitcoin chart versus and the USD chart, because the Bitcoin chart looks like it has another 14-15% more to go, while the USD chart has I don't know, 10% to go. But I guess if the USD chart comes up that much, it would end up coming up to be like 1.2. But yeah, I still hold with this as the area where I would like to short it just around $1, 99 cents. And then like I said, the ADA, if it comes up to here, then I'll probably short it on the USD pair regardless, on the perp swaps. So the swaps, what am I talking about? On the perp futures. So there's all of that. Solana's at 90. Yeah, Solana pumps up here. Great shorting opportunity. This is where I'm going to be shorting Solana. I don't know if we're going to get a 30% pump or not, but I do know that if we do, then I know where the shorting opportunity is. And it's just it's not in an area where I would want to long it. Solana against Bitcoin, not in an area where I would want to long it. BNB, I did long BNB because I saw it break through a big diagonal resistance, something like that. So I just decided to long it here. Hopefully it pumps up. to 438 or something like that. But yeah, those are gonna be it for today for this video, because I need to go to sleep because it's 3 o'clock in the morning and I've been doing this for like 8 hours. So I'm going to call this one a night, and then I will do Solana through Solana, BNB, Doge, XRP, Uni, Link, all these other ones tomorrow. I'm gonna try to do as many of them as I can tomorrow, because that would set me up to make sure that I have them set for the week in case we do get some huge pump. Like let's say we get a huge pump for Link and it comes all the way back up here, it pumps 22%. Well, that would be an insanely good shorting opportunity, because you could see we had this major support level that was broken, and then I shorted it there, and then I longed it down there, and now if I could short it back up, well, I didn't long it, I just took my profits down here, and then if I could short it up here, that would be amazing. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunities coming up, and I definitely want to make sure I have them. So I'm gonna call this one here, and then I will see you in the next video. So keep on stacking those sats, keep on making those gains, keep on using risk management. Once we get to a point where I think it's risk on, then we will go super hard, and I'll be risking a whole lot. Right now I'm only risking 0.5 to 1% on all of my trades. Some, like, there's 1 or 2 trades where I might risk 2%, but that's pretty rare unless I get a very good entry at like a very good support or resistance zone. But that's what I'm doing right now. And if we get up here, I'll probably risk a little bit more. If we come down here, I'll risk a little bit more. If we come down here, I'll risk a little bit more, and get the really good entries that I want. So with saying all that, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks again for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.